It gets people talking.
The 6 o'clock Rock Report.
In association with Hot Press, Radio Nova.
Imagine how it was. 1965, the Rolling Stones. Pretty hot and big, important property. Satisfaction was being played off the somewhat limited radio stations at the time, and everybody wanted a piece of the Rolling Stones. Well, there's a brand new book out called Rolling Stones One-on-One. Photographer Gered Mankowitz is with us on Radio Nova's Rock Report. I'm very jealous of your lifestyle, Gered. Not only were you Jimi Hendrix's personal photographer back in the 60s, but also getting a call from the Stones to say, hey, come on tour with us, Gered.
Pretty much. I've been working with them for most of 65. I got to know them really well. They really enjoyed working with me, and I felt incredibly comfortable and at home with them. And I got this call late summer 65 saying, would I be able to go on the autumn tour? And of course, when I picked myself up, I thought it was a wonderful idea.
Now, would you then have been in Ireland for those couple of dates that they did in Belfast and in Dublin on September 3rd and 4th of 65? Were you there for that?
No, I wasn't. I only went to America. I say.
Yeah.
At the end of October, I think it was October the 26th, we left to go to America until early December. And I only did the American leg of the tour. You know, in those days, they were working almost non-stop, I mean, without a break. And they probably did a dozen gigs between Dublin, Belfast, and going to America. I mean, they were really working non-stop.
What was it like, though, for you? In your teens, you were 19 years of age, you get the call. Was this your first time to go to the United States?
It was my first trip to America.
With the Rolling Stones, it couldn't get much better, could it?
No, it really couldn't. It was quite extraordinary. It was exciting. It was fun. It was an adventure. It fulfilled pretty much all my mid-60s ideas of what being on the road with a rock and roll band would be like. However, what really took me aback was how hard it was. It's always portrayed as being, you know, mad sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and it would be naive and stupid of me to try and pretend that there weren't moments of complete insanity, which were just a joy to participate in. But there were awful long periods of boredom and exhaustion, mainly because of the ridiculous schedule that they have to keep when they're on the road. What was a day in the life like? Well, I'll tell you. It was the first tour they did with their own aircraft.
Okay.
So they'd rented this rather ancient twin-engine turboprop aircraft called a Martin, and we set off from New York for the first 5 or 6 gigs, coming back to New York at night. But once we hit the road proper, they would do a concert. We would all pile off on stage. I would have to be in the limo waiting, otherwise I'd get left behind. We would then be limoed to the airport, on the plane, and up in the air to the next gig, landing at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, depending upon how far away they were playing. And then we would be ferried during the night to some ghastly motel and expected to sort of crash out, get up at about lunchtime, be taken for not a sound check, but just to be taken to the concert hall, hang around for a couple of hours, and then do the gigs.
And your job was to photograph everything the Rolling Stones did in America.
Up to a point,
yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Up to a point.
This is exactly where I wanted to go. There's obviously a lot of stuff that was not in the book.
No, there wasn't. In those days, there was no paparazzi. There was minimal press when you compare to the global that there is now. And I wasn't remotely interested in exploiting my relationship with the band. I mean, I wasn't interested in getting negative images of them. I just wanted to create positive images and try and record being on the road at that time. I wasn't interested in getting, I don't know how pictures of them in their hotel or on the beach. That just wasn't the Rolling Stones, and it just wasn't me. It never occurred to me to be. I just wouldn't have taken that pic. When everybody relaxed at the end of the night, my camera's away and chilled out with them. That was what was expected of me, and that's what I expected to do.
Okay. Were you paid for your time there as well, or was it just the pleasure of being on the road in America for the first time as a 19-year-old with the Rolling Stones?
No, I was paid. I was a professional photographer and had been for quite a while. I'd established a working relationship with them, and I was paid. I don't think I was paid a huge amount because, but I was treated exactly the same as they were on the road. I stayed in the same hotels, in the same type of rooms. There was nothing. I wasn't on a sort of cut price package. I went first class, and I felt like the sixth member of the band. I wasn't remotely separated from them or cut off from them. There was no complexity of access. I mean, access was just completely 100% uninhibited. And no questions asked.
We can see the photographic proof of same. The brand new book is called Rolling Stones One-on-One. So lovely to talk to you again. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you. It's lovely to talk to you, and best of luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you. I'm jealous of your world, Gered Mankowitz on Radio Nova's Rock Report.
First, with the rock news you need to know.
The 6 o'clock Rock Report in association with Hot Press, Radio Nova.